Hi, I'm Dr. Isaac Alexis from the Slim Samurai Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. Today, my Slim Samurai family, we're going to talk about a very important issue that's particularly close to my heart. We're going to discuss the opioid epidemic and why it's particularly close to my heart. My cousin died of a drug overdose some 35 years ago at the ripe young age of only 25. She'd have been 63 had she been alive today. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. And as you can see, I've committed myself to in order to stem the opioid epidemic. Before I move on, don't forget to click on the subscribe, like, comment, so I can know what topics you would like me to discuss in detail. Pass this to 25 of your friends and family as well. Now we're going to discuss something very important here about opioids, the 3 deadly waves. Now, every 24 hours, 136 people die daily from an opioid overdose. Over 70% of the 70,000 deaths in 2019 involved an opioid. From 2018 to 2019, there were significant changes in opioid-induced death rates. Opioid-involved death rates increased by over 6% from 2018 to 2019. Prescription opioid-involved death rates decreased by 7% from 2018 to 2019. Heroin-involved death rates decreased by over 6% in 2018 to 2019. However, synthetic opioid-involved death rates, not including the methadone, this increased by 15%. Now, we're going to look at the opioid epidemic more closely. But in order to do so, any logical discussion must include not one, not two, but the 3 deadly waves of opioids. This is a triphasic wave. Now, first off, from 1999 to 2019, that 20-year time period, around 500,000 people died of overdose involving opioids, including prescription and illicit opioids. Now, let's look at these 3 waves. The first wave occurred in the 1990s with the indiscriminate prescribing of opioids. You could have had a razor bump and the physician would have just prescribed the opioid. Or you just stubbed your toe, and sad to say, some physicians prescribed the opioid for just stubbing your toe against your bedroom drawer. And these factors and other multi-variegated factors led to opioid addiction, opioid misuse. Let's look at the second wave. This second wave began in the year 2010 with rapid increase in overdose death rates involving heroin. Number 3, the third wave began in 2013 with significant increase in overdose deaths involving synthetic opioids like fentanyl. This fentanyl was frequently mixed with, number 1, cocaine, number 2, methamphetamine, number 3, marijuana, and number 4, other counterfeit pills. Now, so your next question that you're asking is, what are we doing about it? Well, I'm glad you asked that. The Centers of Disease Control, CDC, is forming an overdose data to action plan, which is a 3-year cooperative agreement through which the CDC will fund health departments in 47 states, Washington, D.C., 2 territories, and 16 cities for surveillance and prevention efforts. These efforts include timelier tracking of non-fatal and fatal drug overdoses, improving toxicology to better track polysubstance-involved deaths. For instance, speedball effect. You mix a downer, like any type of opioid, whether Opanas, OxyContins, methadone, morphine, with an upper, like cocaine, methamphetamines, which are stimulants. That's a speedball effect, mixing it down on an upper, and then there's a classic example of polysubstance abuse leading to overdose deaths. Cocaine will make your heart beat over 200 beats a minute, with the normal range of a heart rate being from 60 to 80 beats a minute. That's some 120 beats higher than normal, making many young people sustain heart attacks, strokes. Their blood vessel walls can't withstand that fast pace heartbeat. And the increased blood pressure, sometimes going up to 280 over 150, is enough to make the blood vessel walls in the brain and in the heart explode. So that's what I'm referring to in polysubstance abuse. Next, CDC guidelines to enhance linkage to care for people with opioid overdose. Now, before I continue, I want to review the critical numbers that's involved within the 3 deadly waves. Number 1, 70,630 people died from drug overdoses in 2019. Number 2, 1.6 million people had an opioid use disorder in the past year. Number 3, 745,000 people used heroin in the past year. Number 4, 1.6 million people misused their prescription pain relievers for the first time. Number 5, 48,000 deaths were attributed to overdosing on synthetic opioids like fentanyl, carfentanil, alfentanil, susfentanil. Just to give you an idea how powerful carfentanil is, it's 10,000 times stronger than morphine. Only a few grains of it, a few table salt grains of it, will kill a 200-pound man or woman within seconds. Number 6, 10.1 million people use prescription opioids in the past year. Number 7, 2 million people use methamphetamine in the last year. Number 8, 50,000 people used heroin for the first time last year. And number 9, 14,000 people used heroin for the first time in the past 12 months, attributed to overdosing, that 12 months leading up to June of 2020. So this is a matter that is very critical and has been exacerbated, especially during the COVID-19 crisis. And I'm going to be discussing more about opioids and treatments, even vaccines for opioid use. I'm going to delve much deeper into this so that you can get a full and comprehensive picture of how to deal with a loved one, close friend, family that is suffering from substance use disorders. Well, that's all for today. I am Dr. Isaac Alexis from Slim Samurai Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. God bless.